Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, on that previous video, I covered the deltoid, triceps, and the biceps already. So, in today's video, we're going to be continuing on covering the muscles of your legs now. So, so primarily the gluteus maximus, the iliopsoas, the quadriceps femoris, hamstring. So let's cover the muscles that are involved in your hip movement first of all. So let's talk about that. For your hip anteriorly, you will have your iliopsoas. So the P is silent. Iliopsoas is made up of two things: the iliacus and the psoas major. So imagine this is kind of like your this is your muscles. This is your spine. Your lumbar, your sacrum, that part over there. Just like that. So they kind of converge at the same point, actually. I'm working like this. I know it's kind of hard to visualize right now, but I'm just trying my best to draw something that's 3D, which I know is extremely hard, but so imagine this. Right, so we've got two parts over here. We've got the iliacus. This right here is the iliacus. This right here is the psoas major. PSOAS major. Right, this is your sacrum. This is your ilium bone, or we call it the iliac fossa. So the inner part of your ilium that lines the faces the cavity. Faces your birth cavity, or like for the women, the cavity in the womb, right? That's for the women. That's the iliac fossa. The origin of the iliacus is the iliac fossa. Fossa. So it's the inner part, basically, of the ilium. The psoas major origin is in your lateral lumbar vertebrae. Right? This is our origin, is psoas major. They all merge together, however, to insertion on the femur. And insert in the femur, anterior and medial. So they're inserted anteriorly and also medially. Plus medial, okay? This is your iliopsoas. Posteriorly, we've got the gluteus maximus. Gluteus maximus is behind your hip right there. So imagine like this. Then your legs are kind of, I'd say it's like right here. Let me try and draw. Something like that. Right, and this is just like that. So the muscle kind of spans along the sacrum and the ilium, right? The sacrum over here, this is the sacrum. And the posterior part of your hip bone, which is the ilium. Right, so here, this is the iliac fossa, this is the front part called the ilium. This one, origin, is the sacrum and the ilium as well, so kind of like on top. And the insertion here is also your femur. But rather now, it's your femur posteriorly plus laterally. So they're kind of on the outside of your femur here, so the opposite of what the iliopsoas is. Anterior and medial, this one's posterior and lateral. These are your hip muscles. Now let's move on to your knee muscles and knee joint. So remember that knee joint, all the concentric actions or contractions of muscles are opposite other joints. Right, so for all the other joints, when the muscles are contracting concentrically, you're basically, so flexion happens anteriorly, right? So if you flex up your arm, then extension happens posteriorly. Abduction, ABD, abduction is when you're bringing it towards your body, so it's medial. And then abduction when you bring away from it. Adduction, ADD, is when you bring it towards full body, medially. And ABD, abduction, is when you bring it away from the body. Abduction, so it's being taken away from you. That's abduction. So those will remain the same for your knee joint, but it's just your flexion and extension bit is inverted for your knee joint compared to other joints. So for example, for the knee joint, flexion is posterior, but other joints anterior. And then extension is anterior. With the other joints anteriorly, it's flexion. So, as I said, you're looking at the opposite only for those anterior posterior positions. And so now we have to cover what we call the quadriceps femoris first, anteriorly. So we've got the quadriceps femoris. So based on this, as you guys can tell right now, based on the name, so like for example your muscle, the biceps brachii. Brachii stands for arm. Ceps stand for heads, right? So biceps brachii is a muscle that has two heads located in the arm. Biceps brachii, same thing, but it's got 3 heads. Here, quadriceps femoris. Quadri is 4, ceps is head, femoris is 10 in your leg. Right, so so quadriceps, we've got 4 heads, but rather than that, we are trying to separate them into 4 different diagrams, so it's easier for you guys to imagine. So we will split them into the rectus femoris. So first of all, this. Okay, give me a second, I'm trying to draw. Draw all the bones involved, okay. So for this one, I'm just repeating my drawing all over again. This one right here kind of does this. No, it's so weird, but it's like this, okay? This is the muscle, we call it the rectus femoris. And these three is, okay, so this one right here. So, right, so this one is called the lateral. This one is called the medial bicep. Let's actually complete this joint. Right, this is your intermedius. Actually, sorry, my bad. It's not medial because there's no such thing as medialis muscle for the legs. That's based on the name. It's pretty easy to understand why they're called so. So you look at the diagram here. It's your medialis. Now this is your medialis, right? Because this one is not medial, because if you think about it, this one is more medial, so it's more lateral. This one's in the middle. It's in the intermediate of your femur. So these three together are called your vastus muscles. Right. This is your rectus femoris, the origin of this guy. Origin is from your ilium, and the insertion of this guy is in your tibial tuberosity. Same tuberosity, okay? Same for all of these three as well, right? All of their insertion is in tibial tuberosity, but it's just how, like, this one's more lateral, of course, this one's more intermediate, this one's more medial, but the insertion occurs, right? And then your origin, of course, femur, so it's more lateral, intermediate, medial. So origin is your femur. Of course, sorry, I forgot to tell you the most important thing. So let's come back to the iliopsoas and the gluteus maximus. So because of that, these muscles are involved in hip movement, so flexion and extension. Right, so because it's a hip joint, when your iliopsoas contract anteriorly, you're flexing it. So this guy is involved in hip flexion. The other way goes for the gluteus maximus, hip extension. Right? Easy. Now it comes to the leg, your leg muscles, and we've got the rectus femoris and the vastus muscles. These guys right here is for hip extension. Hip flexion. Right, because just looking at it, ilium is because at the front. The tibial tuberosity right here is also looking at it from a front view as well. So hip is important flexion of this. Remember that because the muscle here, the rectus femoris, is located anteriorly. That's why it's responsible for flexion. Right? So because the hip is not a knee joint, the only exception is the knee joint. So the hip will follow the rest of the joints, and flexion is anterior. However, now we'll come to the knee, because all four of these muscles are inserted in your tibial tuberosity. The tibia, right? So you you've got your femur, and then you go down to your tibia and your fibula. Tibia is a big bone in the medial compared to the fibula. So because these guys are attached to onto the tibia, they're also responsible for the movement of the knees. So all of them, because they're located anteriorly, I remember that if your knees are moving anteriorly, it's being extended versus opposite of other joints. So all of these four, by the way, will be responsible for knee extension at the joint, extension at the joint. Right, and up to as next video, I'll cover the hamstrings and the tibialis anterior and the triceps serrae, So we'll cover the hamstring, which is the posterior counterpart of your quadriceps femoris, the anterior counterpart. Also cover the tibialis anterior and the triceps serrae. See you then.